Oscar's Childhood Part 19. Welcome, Carrots here. In the last episode, the final two toddlers aged up, and there's Gator chatting with Allyson. There are big changes afoot in this episode as the Sims prepare for several significant moves. Upstairs, Mena and Oscar are trying to discover a new potion. They both keep popping up wishes to discover particular potions. Mostly they seem to be just getting singed. So many children now in the boarding school, bedtime tends to be bedlam with lots of story requests. Gator's managed to get Mena to agree to tell him a story. Looks like Alyson's going to miss out. She's been left alone, but Kathleen's gone into the next room where there's another set of 2 bunk beds, and she is going to have her story told to her in there. Looks like Alyson's given up. She's going to the room on the other side. There's a few of these bedrooms with just the 2 bunk beds in each room so that the children all have a chance of sleeping somewhere. Gator's gone to his bed. That's his bed's allocated to him as upstairs. And here is Cricket reading the story to Kathleen. Good night, Kathleen. Looks like Cricket needs a sleep too. Mena succeeded in getting singed. Now luckily those all-in-one bathrooms are close by. I think mostly they get singed just at the point when they're about to discover the potion, which means they have to work so hard at discovering each potion. On the bright side, while they are working at the chemistry table, they improve their logic skill. And as is traditional, when they have a shower after getting singed, they break the bathroom. At least somebody is getting handiness points fixing all the broken bathrooms. The children can't do that, though. It's got to be a teen or older Sim who can repair the broken bathroom. Next morning, we're off to school. There's a few of them all heading for the bus in a hurry there. This will probably be the last time we see them all together heading off to school, because some drastic changes are about to be made. I've decided I've had enough of the lag. As you can see, the time it takes me to cut out every little lag space between every step that they're taking. It's time to make it end. First thing that's going to happen is 2 little girls are going to get a makeover, and then they're going home to their parents in Lucky Palms. And then a whole bunch of them are going to head off to a new boarding school in Moonfall Island. It remains to be seen if we get lag at Moonfall Island. I'll just show you a little bit of what I've been dealing with, and I can assure you that the wait time here is nothing compared to some of what I've had to endure. I've had hours of video recorded to get a 20-minute video, and all the rest of it is cutting out little bits and pieces of lag along the way, or great long 5-minute or more gaps of freezing lag. There's the male Sim. That's Oscar's on the bus. I think we'll leave it there and assume they're all safely at school. Little Susanna might be the last one going. Across the road in the garden allotment, Erica has been trying to work out on the climbing wall. She has already got herself to level 10 in the athletic skill just by doing autonomous grabs of various activities to work out. She just loves to be kept fit, and she wants to be a professional athlete. Her lifetime wish is to get to level 9 of the athletic career, and I'll probably let her join that shortly. And I'll cut the lag out to my best of my ability from here on in. I have accidentally told Mena to harvest with the tractor. She's watering at the moment. I meant to tell her to fertilise after she finished watering, but I clicked the wrong thing. If you have never seen the tractor harvesting, then this is your only chance from my videos, because I don't usually use the tractor to harvest. We'll just let Mena finish her round with the tractor watering, and when she returns to the starting off point, which is also the finishing point, she will jump off the tractor and then she'll get back on it again and start harvesting. Now, the reason I don't like my Sims to harvest with the tractor is it only harvests a small part of the garden each time around. So you've got to keep on harvesting a lot to get the entire garden harvested. And the second thing is, after 2 or 3 rounds, the Sims inventory gets so many harvestables in it that it tractor starts resetting. You can see how it's got that gold glow. That indicates the part of the garden that's actually being harvested. Now, once your Sims inventory gets to a certain point, then when the tractor gets back to the stopping or starting point, instead of just parking neatly on the track, it will do one of 2 things. The first thing you're likely to notice is it will just suddenly jump aside and land in the garden. And if you don't empty the Sims inventory, the next time around, instead of landing in the garden, it's likely to delete the tractor, and your Sim is likely to be reset. And of course, if the tractor is gone, it's gone. You've got to buy a new tractor, and that is 12,000 simoleons. And if you don't realise why it's happened, you can lose a lot of tractors. And I find it's easier just to let the Sims do the harvesting by hand until they've got their gardening skill up high enough. And then if I still want to keep the garden, I will hire the gardeners using a mod that I got from Mod the Sims, the gardener service mod. And the main reason I have for having the garden is to teach the Sims gardening skill. This is later on in the morning. We've got Erica is still working on her athletic ability, and she's playing with Carly, who doesn't have much of an athletic ability at all at this point. I think in the end Erica gets a little bit tired of it, and they finish the game early. They change ends, and now it's Carly's turn to kick the ball, try to get it past Erica. I don't think she's got any hope whatsoever. Come on, Carly, try harder. Notice I picked up all the death flowers. They're in various Sims inventories now. That's 4 out of 4 fails on Carly's part. At least she missed a couple when Erica was kicking, but Erica's got them all so far when Carly's kicking. I think that might be the end of their little game. Erica's had enough. Down in the basement, Bruce is doing his favourite thing. This is his favourite idle activity. Go down to the basement and play with breaking boards on the board breaker. I think he's up to level 9 in the martial arts skill now. For some reason he's just breaking little boards at the moment. I haven't paid much attention to the basements, just use it basically as somewhere to store a few bits and pieces. If I get rid of the garden across the road, I might go down to the bottom basement level here and try to put a small garden down there so that little Sims can learn their gardening skill when they come to the boarding school later on. Behind us, other side of the camera, if I turned it around 180 degrees, you'd see a group of nectar making machines. So there's a few skilling things and activity things down here. Although here's Bandit, he's got fleas. There's fleas jumping up him everywhere. So he's going to get up on the chair. If you're wondering where I got those chairs from, they came with the Katy Perry stuff pack. Bandit's going to go downstairs and get himself a flea bath in that hydro bath thing for dogs and cats. Came with pets. It's either a lifetime reward for a cat or dog, or it is available in Buy Debug. When he emerges, he'll be all squeaky clean and free of fleas. That's a little bit scary to look at. Only one little clean bandit comes out. There he is. He always reminds me of that dog or monster or whatever it was from Ghostbusters. Oscar's come home from school and he's having a happy time doing the smussle dance. He does enjoy music. He's destined to have a career in music. He wants to be a rock star. Oscar's late father, Gene, was in the music career prior to when he was killed by a meteor strike. Gene had encouraged his little son's love of music, and Oscar had developed an ambition to become a rock star. We haven't given him a lifetime wish yet because it hasn't popped up yet. So somehow or other, he's got to get the rock star lifetime wish, or he won't fit what I have in mind for when he is an adult and gets married to Louise, because this is the Oscar who is going to grow up and marry Louise and have lots of babies with Louise. I'll be sad to see the end of this little boarding school, but it's too much lag, we got to go. I'll leave it here, it might work better with less Sims in it. So the children who have just aged up from toddler, all three of them, are learning how to cook. That's one of the child skills. There's 2 child skills they need to get before they age up to teen, if you want to be able to choose their trait when they age up. And those 2 skills are cooking and blocks. And those activity tables in the middle there, just at the end, in the bottom left corner of the screen, there's one just there. That's where they learn their blocks skill. You've also got to be able to, I think they've got to be grade A at school as well. I've got a fridge on this level just for their cooking. They're making muffins at the moment, and if you leave their muffins in their inventory, they go off very fast. It's just the first lot they cook gets placed onto the stove. All the rest go into their inventory. You've got to drag them out and put them in the fridge, and then other Sims eat all of the baked goods that they've made, or they could go and sell them at a bake sale. They get that little bakery table, but I don't usually do that. I might do it at some point with them at some stage. And other Sims from around the house can sense that they're baking, and they'll come up and try to get those muffins off the top of the stoves, and then they can't. So there's a routing error, and that's a bit of a problem. So all of the other Sims are downstairs reading. They're reading mostly either recipes or fishing bait books. They're all set with a whole list of books to read. I try to get them now because I've got massive numbers of additional recipes, a lot more recipes than come with the game, because I've got more harvestables from mods, and of course you get the recipe to go with the harvestable, and these Sims have got hundreds of recipes to learn. I don't know how many, I haven't counted them, but there's a lot. And little Wilhelmina's sitting out here, she's working on her writing skill. Finally I put the chair and computer back out there after the meteor demolished the originals, and I put a couple of tables and chairs out on the veranda as well. I put the chairs and tables out in this front veranda because in previous games, when I've had little Sims at the boarding school and they've gone home to homes in the same world, they will often drop by the boarding school and sit out in the veranda to do their homework. But in Chocolate Cake Island, I don't have any Sims that live in this world. There's only the Sims in the boarding school. Every other Sim you see is either a tourist or somebody the game has made as a role Sim of some sort. Most of the lots are empty, so there's not even empty houses for the game to move Sims into. And I have placed community lots that I thought I would want to use. Otherwise, there's only a very small number of them that are placed in this world when you download it from the exchange. Reflong 7 made the world. It's a very pretty little world, a fantasy world. This looks like a chocolate cake from above with a slice cut out where the Sims have got a little inlet just near the beach. We've got a few of those teenage gnomes at the moment. I think there's 3 of them. It won't be long before these 3 have done their cooking skills. Then it'll be time to send the little girls home, I think. That's the costume. No, that's not. That's a toy box. Costume chest is just this side of the toy box. I finally tracked it down. Couldn't find it before. And I thought logically it should be on the level where the children's things are, and it was. So, they're achieving their cooking skill. Erica's come up to pinch one of those plates of muffins. They make all sorts of things. I think little toy ovens. They make muffins, and once they've got enough skill, then they can make cookies and brownies, and then when they've got to level 3 they can make pies and cakes. That's how I test quickly if a little Sim has got to level 3 in cooking yet. I click on the oven to see if they can cook a cake or a pie, and if they can, I know they're at level 3. They don't need to cook anymore. So it's just a lot of reading books at the moment, and then when it's bedtime they go to sleep. They get stories read. Some of them need to get their wardrobes fixed. They're still in the clothes. Like Francesco's climbing up the top bunk there. He's still in the clothes that the game gave him when he aged up. Gator's having a nap. Wilhelmina's sleeping. Gator should be up in the top bunk, but he's in the bottom bunk. He's in someone else's bed at the moment. The light's out. Now this is when school's finished the next day. This is Kathleen playing in the sandpit. She hasn't gone back to the boarding school. She stayed at school. She probably had to do something after school. Allyson returned home. She's finished her homework and now she's playing a computer game. So both of the little girls are relaxing. Before they head off to Lucky Palms, I will give them each a makeover. Allyson needs a new skin because her EA skin has got a sharp line around her neck. They both need new hairs because they're both in the same outfits and hair that they got when they aged up. This is Allyson and Kathleen after their makeovers. And here is a better shot of Kathleen, which is actually looking at us. The thing that's happening here, first of all, beautiful pink sky. They're sitting in the car on the way to Lucky Palms. So that Kathleen and Allyson are heading home with Mena. Mena's parents live in Lucky Palms as well. So they are all going home to their parents at this point. On arrival in Lucky Palms, I had a brief moment of panic because there were no empty houses. The one I keep reserved for somehow or other got occupied. But there were a couple of vacant lots and I was able to land them in a vacant lot. And then it was easy to move them from the vacant lot into Mena's parents' home. And it was Mena's parents' home that you were just looking at when we opened. So there it is. That's the house right in the front. You can only see the top of it. That's it. The two little girls are asleep in beds because they arrived here very late at night. And I thought it would be best not to send them directly home to their own homes at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Fortunately, this house was all set up already. The Mena just went automatically to her own bed. Early next morning, Mena's father, Jack, headed off to work. I think he's in a journalism career. Soon everybody was awake indoors. Kathleen's there playing with her imaginary friend. She's being very kind to the friend. The school bus is out there waiting for them. There's Allyson having her breakfast in the kitchen. But it's time to head off to school. And there they go. They've got lots of little friends at the school in Lucky Palms because several of the toddlers that were in the toddler school with them have now aged up the children as well. So they are all already friends with lots of children in Lucky Palms. Mena's found her parents' green dragon. This is Mena's mother. She's just become an elder recently. Poor little dog didn't have anything, so I gave them a few dog bits and pieces, like a little bed and a ball and a chew and a bowl, more important, so I can actually feed him. I think the dog's almost an elder, so that bed should be big enough. Mena and her mother are having a little conversation. Haven't seen each other for a while, so Emma decides to reacquaint Mena with all of her nieces and nephews by having a bit of a boast about her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. Little Allyson is the great-granddaughter of Mena's mother, because Mena's brother Ted is the grandfather of little Allyson. It looks like I forgot to turn the rain off in Lucky Palms. We got a bit of weather. But let's have a look at Allison's family tree to see the enormity of her connections. Her mother is Tammy Fields and her father is Jebediah Wilson from Riverview. Now Jebediah doesn't have any preceding family, but Tammy has parents, Ted Fields and Patience. So now let's have a look at Patience's family tree. They're all Patience's descendants. She's currently connected with Christopher Steele for some reason, but Christopher walked out and he lives on his own, or he actually moved in with Heather in Sunlit Tides, and Patience now lives here in Lucky Palms. They haven't lived together for a long time. I don't know why they're connected there. They have a son, Craig, who has not yet married or had children, and there's another son on the right there, Dan, who I found in a very old game from about 2010, and I added him into this game just because I thought Patience having 15 children was insufficient. She's now got 16 now that I've used a mod to add Dan into their family tree. In that old game that Dan was born into, his parents were Patience and Christopher Steele, so it's not as though he isn't Patience's child, it's just from a completely different game. And interestingly enough, Dan and his family live in a big house in Moonfall Island. And the boarding school in Moonfall Island is where I'm about to move Oscar and some of the other little Sims from the Chocolate Cake Island boarding school. So I won't go through this family tree in great detail, but you can get the idea. When Eric and Oscar start travelling around the various worlds, there are a lot of Sims they can drop in to visit. And most of these Sims live in different worlds. So we're going to get a good chance to see quite a lot of different worlds, as well as meet lots of other Sims. They'll join the households and we'll play for a while in each of them. But I think I'll age Oscar up to 10 fairly quickly, because I don't want him to be a child for much longer. And a lot of these toddlers, if they've done their skills, I will be aging them up when we get to visit them, and if they haven't done their skills, I'll probably get them doing their skills so I can age them up. It's time they were all children or teens, except for those ones on the second from the left. The far left is Allyson and Amelia. The group second from the left, with a child, 2 toddlers and 2 babies, all belong to Tom Fields. He's the one with the complicated life, with a wife and family in each of 2 worlds. So since it's raining outside, Mena has decided she's going to watch TV for a while. Since she had a skill that she needed to read the book for, she decided to leave the TV viewing and headed for the library. At least in the library she would gain her skill faster, and she'd be able to connect with some of the residents of Lucky Palms, because her visit here is only a brief stay, and she'd like to catch up with some of her old friends and acquaintances. Mena spent the afternoon in the library reading Charisma. That's Harriet Jackson. Her daughter is a plant sim, Colleen, and she will be one of the friends that Allyson and Kathleen know from when they were at boarding school as toddlers, and is now a child herself, and they'll know her at school. Meanwhile, back at home, Emma, Mena's mother, has gone off to work in the culinary career, and Mena's father, Jack, has come home from his work, and he's decided to teach the dog to sit up. So there's a bit of dog training going on here. And I've given Jack a makeover. You can see he's got some other clothes and different hair now. And the little girls are home from school, so it's homework time for them. There's plenty of facilities in this house for little girls, but they do have to go home to their own families soon, because we've got to get back to Chocolate Cake Island. Kathleen has a little errand to run. Kathleen is a witch, so she rides her broom. She inherited the witch occult state from her father, Tobias Coffey. She'd had to deliver some permission slips from school. The little girls take over the kitchen, while Allison's great-grandfather, Jack, continues to train the dog. Soon homework is complete, kitchen is all tidy, and everybody has come home from work or the library or school, and it's bedtime. And bedtime means story time. And Kathleen has decided she's going to get one last story from Mena. Allison's gone straight to sleep, and Mena's gone and got a book out of the bookshelf in the next room, and Kathleen is waiting eagerly for her story. And when the story is finished, Mena returns the book to the bookcase and she goes to sleep herself. And her parents are sleeping happily in their own room. Very early the next morning, Kathleen says farewell to Mena and her family and to Allyson, and she heads home to rejoin her own family. They live in a huge old rambling house on the edge of town, on the poor side of town. Kathleen's managed to take her tablet with her, so she sits outside in the little play area, the only flat bit of the lot for them to have their swings and other things for the children to play on, and she reads until her mother, stepfather, and her mother's imaginary friend made real wake up and allow her to come into the house. As Kathleen adjusts to being back in the home she left as a toddler and now returns as a child, Allyson is doing the same thing with her own family. That's her father, Jebediah, coming home from work. He's in the medical career, and her mother, Tammy, is a vocal legend. Now, both of Mena's parents have got a lifetime wish that they've made no progress towards, and both of them need to travel to World Adventure Worlds to explore the tombs. One needs to get to a visa level of 3 in each of the World Adventure Worlds, and the other one needs to complete 6 tombs in each world. So while Mena is at home visiting her parents, and that now that the 2 little girls have returned to their homes, Mena and her parents have decided to have a short vacation in China. Now, Mena's father, Jack, needs to get his visa level up to level 3 in each of the World Adventure Worlds. And Emma, Mena's mother, needs to complete 6 tombs in each world. So she's going to tag along with her husband and complete the tombs with him. Plus, she'll wander through any other tombs she can get into while he does whatever tasks he's got set to him to increase his visa level. He'll be doing things like fishing and finding gems, etc. And here he is reporting in for his first adventure. He's got to go and find the treasure in the hidden city. He'll meet up with Emma in the tomb. And Mena's going to run around doing a few things, seeing what she can see, dig up some treasure, do a bit of excavating, catch a few insects, and then she'll head off home with the parents. But we'll leave them in China. We don't need to go around China with them. And this will be the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. When we get back to the next episode, we will visit the 2 little girls in their homes in Lucky Palms and make sure they've settled in. And then Mena will pick up the person who's occupying the house that's supposed to be left empty, because she's the one who rescued Oscar from Irwin, and she stayed in Lucky Palms. But she's now going to travel with Mena back to Chocolate Cake Island, and then they'll travel on to Moonfall Island, and we'll find a beautiful new world, which I'm pretty sure was also made by Reflong 7. We've got a lot of her worlds in this game, and we'll meet lots of new Sims that you probably haven't seen before, and a few that you've heard of, seen in pictures. Some are related to Eric and some are not. And do you remember seeing that picture of Crimson snoring in her chair? Well, she is living in Moonfall Island, so you might see her as well. So thank you for watching, and please give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more episodes or more of my videos and be told about them so you know when I've posted again. And thank you for watching, and bye bye for now, and happy simming.